What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Thursday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and we have hit a little bit of a cold spell. It's been not a great week for us here for the last week of July. We've done well in the month, but not so much coming up for this week. We had a pretty down day yesterday, 1-3, down 2.82 units. Brewers were the play of the day. That went down. More on that here in just 1 second. Phillies on the money line. That lost as well. Unfortunately, player props continue to be sort of this 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. It's just this ongoing thing. I don't really know why that's been happening, but that's just the way we've gone with player props. It's been pretty much a 1-1 night almost every time we get out there and play it. But Cubs win the game 10-3 over the Brewers. White Sox beat the Phillies 9-3, so that results in a losing day for us here on a Wednesday. So here is the Major League Baseball trade deadline today. Not betting baseball. Given the trades we have already seen, given that we could have a couple of monsters, Shohei Ohtani left the game last night after, 6 straight balls, and we'll see what the actual injury might be to Ohtani. So the Dodgers might be active, more active than they thought they were going to be. If Ohtani's re-injured again and can't pitch or maybe even can't hit, they're going to go to the trade deadline and be incredibly active. The Diamondbacks have got a ton of players they can trade. We'll see what, contending teams, Yankees, Red Sox, what do they do? Are the Twins going to sell off everybody? What will the Marlins do with Sandy Alcantara? What will the Twins do with, Joe Ryan? There's all sorts of pitchers who might be moving, might not be moving. I don't know. We got burned a bit yesterday with a change in starting pitching that happened because of a potential trade. So I'm going to stay away from baseball today. And I'm not interested in the WNBA right now. It's just not really something that I'm doing well with, so I'm going to stay away from it. So we're going to do college football. I'm going to give you 3 more bets in college football that you guys can make for today. And if you want to hold off on it, you want to wait, that's fine. But I've got some logic as to how we're going to do it and the reasons behind why betting now, just to kind of refresh if you haven't seen where we are or what we have already bet for the Daily Juice. We have gone a lot with the Big Ten for some interesting reason. It's not really, I don't think it's been on purpose that we've been so kind of committed and focused on the Big Ten. But, I think that there's opportunities that will present itself, money-wise for us to be able to jump in with the Big Ten. So right now, first bet was Ohio State over 10.5 wins at plus 120. We took Penn State under 10.5 wins at minus 135. And we took Georgia to win the SEC championship at plus 360. That bet actually has increased in value. Let me see what that bet at plus 360. I think we've seen some Georgia money that has come in for the SEC championship. And let me see, for the SEC, for the future, sorry, we gotta roll through that. There it is, conference winners in the SEC. We have plus 360, plus 330, plus 290, plus 280, depending on where you are. So you can still get Georgia at a pretty good price at plus 330 to win the Big Ten if you want to go ahead and trail that in Ohio State as well, if you want to jump in with Ohio State and then Penn State under. I got another, if I think Ohio State's going over 10.5 wins, which I do, and Penn State's going under 10.5 wins, well, the third team is Michigan. Let's talk about Michigan a little bit here, and we'll get to their schedule. And then I have a game I want to break down in week 2, which you might go, what? Well, there's a reason why I think we should bet right now, because I don't think this number is going to last for very long when it comes to, once we get really into college football, people are going to wake up and realize, wait, what's the number? This is not, number's too low. So before we do that, a reminder of the offer that's available right now for BettingPros Premium. You guys get 7 days for free by downloading the BettingPros app and using the code JUICE to get that 7-day free trial for the prop bet cheat sheet, the prop bet analyzer. You guys can make your own analysis. You can look at your own information with all the data collected by the prop bet cheat sheet and the prop bet analyzer, plus other picks and plays, all on BettingPros Premium. Get 7 days for free. Download the BettingPros app and use the code JUICE in the upgrade screen to get a 7-day free trial. Go and download the BettingPros app right now. Check out the betting systems and all the good stuff available for you on the BettingPros app with BettingPros Premium. Okay, let's start with Michigan. here's the thing. So Penn State under, Ohio State over, right? So here's Michigan and what they could do. Do I think they run the table? Well, you tell me. You tell me here when it comes to their schedule. Sorry about that. Here is their schedule. This is Michigan's schedule on your screen. I'm going to read it for you guys on the podcast, on the audio. New Mexico at home. Oklahoma on the road. Central Michigan at home. Nebraska on the road. Wisconsin at home. USC on the road. Washington at home. Michigan State on the road. Purdue at home. Northwestern in Maryland on the road, and they end the year at home against Ryan Day and Ohio State in a team that Michigan has simply owned. There's just no debate. They've owned them. Now, different year, different season, but if you look at Michigan and where most metrics have them, they have them as maybe the top defense in college football. Like, they're going to be really, really tough. At least on paper right now, Michigan's defense is going to be one of the best in all of college football. The schedule strength is wild because I'm going to read you what the analytics are spitting out here from ESPN and what they think the schedule strength is for Michigan. New Mexico is 130th. Oklahoma is 16th. Central Michigan is 117th. Nebraska's 34th. Wisconsin's 37th. USC is 30th. Washington is 39th. Michigan State 64th. Purdue 101st. Northwestern 87. 70 for Maryland, and number 1 for Ohio State. Now, okay, you can go, well, Matt, hold on a second. There's some guys that are kind of close that aren't horrible, and they're playing the number 1 team in the country. Well, here's the thing. If Sherrone Moore can get these guys rolling and get these guys to buy in with a brand new quarterback, Bryce Underwood is a gigantic question mark, but he's the number 1 player in the entire 2025 recruiting class, the quarterback from Michigan. He is being compared to Cam Newton. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he can run the football. And sure, Michigan lost a lot of talent off of last year's squad, but they've got some really good players, and they've got a bunch of really good players transferring in as well. Players that you're going to talk about, players that we're going to watch all year. And if Bryce Underwood can go on the road, now this is going to be the big question for me with Bryce Underwood. Can he go on the road? That Oklahoma game is massive. That is a tough place to play. Boomer Sooner in your ear like crazy. But if they can win that game, they'll beat Nebraska, they'll beat USC, they'll win all of the home games. They'll play Michigan State on the road, and that is a tricky game. I'm not going to lie, but they should win that game, okay? They should win that game. And then it comes all the way down to Ohio State. Can Michigan State go undefeated? With this schedule, no Oregon, no Penn State. All they're playing is Michigan State and Ohio State. Rival games for sure. But if they get to Ohio State at 11-0, we have an awesome hedge opportunity. An awesome hedge opportunity to jump in with Michigan to go undefeated in the regular season. That is a 12-1 return for Michigan to run the table. That is worth a flyer to go ahead and take them to win, to go undefeated, to win every game, but maybe not the Ohio State game. And they lose to the Ohio State game, but they could beat Ohio State. They're at home. Okay? Ryan Day's got to do it. You can't beat Michigan. He's got to go on the road to do it. Could he do it? Should he do it? Yeah, probably. But if they're 11-0, and if Ohio State's 11-0, awesome game in Michigan. Very possible both teams to be undefeated. And then we'll bet Ohio State and kick our heels up and go, okay, great. Made a nice profit. 4, 5, 6 units, depending on what we're going to do. So 12-1, Michigan to go undefeated in the regular season for 1 unit. Now, you saw the other one on Michigan to win the Big Ten championship. Look, this is really possible, okay? Again, if they run the table, just get into the game. Like, just get into the game. Just get into the Big Ten championship game. Now, last year it was Oregon against Penn State, and Penn State might very well be there again, okay? So that would cause this bet to lose. But, again, if they run the table, they should be in the Big Ten championship, depending on how the things break down and how the whole year unfolds. But for the most part, I think we're going to see Michigan 11-1, 10-2 at worst. And that might even get them into the Big Ten championship game, depending on what the records wind up being here. It's 9-1. It's 9-1. Okay, I'm sorry. You've got to take that on Michigan, given what they're going to look like. I know they went 8-5 last year, but their schedule strength is outside the top 20. Like they should, as long as Underwood doesn't go belly up. As long as he plays the way he's supposed to play. I know the road trips can be treacherous, but I think not playing Penn State is so big. That is a massive break for Michigan to not play Penn State and only play Ohio State. And they play Ohio State in the last day, the last game of the regular season. I'll take the flyer on the 9-1. Michigan to win the Big Ten at plus 900 here for one unit. Finally, we go to the second week of the college football season. Iowa State. I have been watching this game for a long time. I've been to this game multiple times. I think up to 7 times I've seen Iowa and Iowa State play. This is a weird number. I'm not even going to go that deep, but the fact that the number is Iowa State minus 1.5, you have to lay this right now. Before this goes to 3, this thing is going to be bet to 3. 1, I don't like Iowa this year, okay? I'm down on the Hawkeyes. I don't think Iowa's going to be that good, but it's Cy-Hawk, so throw the records out. Iowa State de-pantsed the Hawkeyes last year by scoring 20 points unanswered, basically. Not basically, they did. 20 points unanswered to win 20-19 in last year's matchup. Matt Campbell is a tremendous coach. But this number is 3. Every year, it's 3. Why is it only 1.5? Last year, 20-19, the final score. 20-13, the final score for in Ames. The last time they played the game in Jack Trice. Win for Iowa. 10-7, the win in Iowa City for the Cyclones. 27-17, the win back in Ames for the Hawkeyes. Back-to-back years because they skipped it because of the COVID year. But in 2019, 18-17, 13-3, 44-41. Do you see the trend here? These are all 1 or 2 score games. The home team wins a lot, but the road team wins a lot too. But this is typically a very tight football game that goes under. Now, we'll see what the totals wind up being. We'll see what weather comes in. We'll see. I'm not betting a total in July, okay? But most likely the under is going to be a good play here for the Cy-Hawk game. I just think you go ahead and jump in with Iowa State now, and let's see what type of closing line value we can get. Because let's just say the number goes over 3, and it winds up getting to 4, which it could go to 4. I mean, it's not crazy. Depends on what Iowa looks like in their first game. If it crosses 3 and goes to 3.5, we'll take Iowa plus 3.5, and we'll just try to middle it. We'll have 1.5, and we'll have 3.5, and we'll try to middle it. Like, I know it's not great to have your money tied up this long, but I think it's a good play. I think the number's wrong. I think the number should be 3. Iowa State minus 3, and it's Iowa State minus 1.5. I think when you're given a gift like this in the preseason, I think you have to jump on it. Go, okay, you're going to give me this number now. This number should be 3. This number is always 3. Home team favored by 3. Home team is favored by 1.5 in this game. And Iowa State should be the better football team because, again, I'm not high on Iowa this year. I don't like what Kirk Ferentz has got cooking. Not a fan of it. I like what Matt Campbell's got. Let's go with Iowa State minus 1.5, and hopefully the number gets bet up to 3.5, and we'll take Iowa during the week of the game here. So it's not really a future. It's just kind of grabbing a number right now, which I think is wrong, which is Iowa State minus 1.5 in the Cy-Hawk Trophy game versus Iowa. Okay, so 3 plays for college football today. Taking a break from baseball. Going to cool it off for a little bit. We'll pick it back up coming up on Friday. Michigan to win the Big Ten at plus 900 for 1 unit. Michigan to go undefeated in the regular season at 12-1 for 1 unit. And the Cy-Hawk game, Iowa State, Iowa, minus 1.5 for the Cyclones. We're going to lay the 1.5 to start here for 1.1 units. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.